It is 8 a.m. on the dot, everyone. Hello, I'm Allison Henderson, and you have found Listening with Your Eyes LinkedIn Live. Today, we will, of course, be talking about body language and the impact that it has on your communication. That's what I am all about as the CEO of Moving Image Consulting. I encourage everyone to go visit my website at www.movingimageconsulting.com to check out the services there. I love to work with individuals on their videos or their presentations, their team building, their solo communication. It's really a wonderful, wonderful study how body language impacts our power as a speaker, and connecting to your personal body language, understanding what the body language of others is a under-tapped resource, in my opinion. Most people spend so much more time on the words that they're saying versus how they are saying them. And if that you feel is a missing piece in your business or in your life, then definitely go check out the website, send me a message, and we'll have a chat. What is today's topic? Well, surprise, surprise, I am taking it back to virtual communication. Just when we think we have nailed our virtual meetings, we've gotten over how to connect virtually, we have hopefully fixed our camera angles and our lighting, although if truth be told, there's a lot of people that still haven't fixed those things. And hopefully in your businesses, you have set up a series or a list of protocols for what is expected. I really can't tell you how surprised I am, maybe even a little disappointed that there are more companies that haven't simply taken the time to gather the leadership together and say, how are these virtual meetings working, or how are they not working? And what are some simple protocols that we can put in place? For instance, if it is a meeting that would have taken place live with everybody in the office, then maybe cameras are on. If it's a meeting that normally would have been taken place just over a conference call or over the phone, but now everything's gone virtual, maybe those are camera off kinds of moments. But it really helps your employees and your leadership to set up those boundaries and protocols, because otherwise some people are really ticked off because some people have their cameras on and some people don't. And let me tell you, the minute you have your camera off, everybody thinks you're doing something else and that you are quote unquote multitasking. It's just natural, right? That we think that we're doing something else or we're answering emails or something else because our camera's off. And let's face it, that's what a lot of us do, particularly on those virtual conferences and things like that, where somebody in whatever room you're in is blabbing on and it's a really boring presentation because so many really great speakers haven't figured out how to present virtually, which is another whole topic in itself. But it's a very boring conversation. So you turn your camera off and you're kind of half listening because you paid for this conference, but you're doing other things. I'm talking about the meeting with your team and half the team members aren't present. As a leader, then, what are some things that you can do to be more present, to come across as the leader of the meeting, or to set yourself apart? I'm going to say it again, that those of you that want to rise through the ranks of your company, one of the best things you can do right now is to be present and available during these meetings. Turn those cameras on. Those of you that are newer to an organization, oh my goodness, think of the FaceTime that you are getting with your boss and other bosses when the other people on their teams aren't turning on their cameras. You are the one that's present and says, yes, I'm here. It's easier to volunteer for things. You can participate a little bit easier because they see that you're ready to speak, or you can move when you start to speak. Okay, take a deep breath. Enjoy the fall morning. It is gorgeous here in Chicago. The scarves have come out because the temperature is starting to change and it's chillier in the mornings. But what are the top 3 things that I want to share today? The top 3 things in order to come across and be more instantly known and trusted when you hop on a virtual meeting. And this works even for one-on-ones, because if you're like me, I'm not meeting people in coffee shops yet. I'm not going to do that first meeting in person necessarily anymore. We're going to do it virtually, and then we can decide whether we want to invest the time and energy in meeting again somewhere else. But I'm going to save myself that time and that money on that expensive cup of coffee. So even when you're meeting one-on-one, these are some things that you can do. And I'll tell you, I'm going to be telling these same things to the Organization for Economic, what's the name of it? Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. I got a message from them. They are based in Paris, saw my TED Talk, have been following these LinkedIn Lives, a little that I know, and contacted me to come to their organization and give a talk about virtual. We're still in this virtual realm. We still need to get better communicating virtually. So I went back through my other LinkedIn Lives, and I don't think I've given these tips before. And if I have, they bear repeating. But the top 3 things to be liked, known, and trusted when you get on that virtual call, here they are. 1, smile. I know that sounds like the most basic thing in the world, but how many times do you get on a call that's virtual and everybody is sitting there? It's what I call resting Zoom face, when everything goes really neutral and everybody just looks really bored. Nobody looks interested or present. Nobody looks happy to be there. And in general, we wouldn't have that in a conference room. In general, people would come in and at least smile and say hello to one another. Why aren't we doing that virtually? Or maybe we did at the beginning of this whole switch to virtual, but we've kind of waned in that. And a lot of our good behavior a year ago is waning. So we're going to smile. And then, to be liked, known, and trusted, you are going to move first. And you're going to speak first. That means instead of just being a lump with no smile, you're going to smile, you're going to move a little bit, you're going to say hello to whoever else is on the line. You're going to say good morning, you're going to say hello, you're going to say, compliment them on their tie, or notice something new about their background. Oh, you're trying a different virtual background today. I like it. Right? Or, hey, did corporate give that to you? I need to get that too. Are you using the green screen? Because it looks really clear. Or maybe it's obvious they're not using a green screen and they're very pixelated. But find something to talk about. The same way that we do when we meet in person, that icebreakery kind of chit chat should still be happening. And I don't know that it's happening enough in our meetings. Particularly, remember, though, you're also networking virtually as well, right? And if you get on so many of these virtual networking things that I've gone to, everybody's kind of waiting for the host to start the meeting, or everybody's waiting for the host to say hello. And granted, if you are the first person, one of the first people there, and you don't know anybody else, it's just as awkward as when you go to a live event and you don't know anybody. But it's even harder virtually because you can't really walk up to them and say hello and introduce yourself. You're going to really have to get over your reticence to speak on camera and just launch right in and say, hello, this is my first time here. I'm Allison Henderson. I'm really happy to meet you. Excited for for this virtual networking meeting today, right? You move first, you speak first. It will increase the chances that people are going to remember you. It also sets you apart as being interested and awake and present from the get-go. And that is always what we're trying to do. When we want to appear as leadership, when we want to come across as an up-and-coming go-getter in our organization, when we are the leader of the meeting or giving the talk, these are things that we need to do. So you're going to smile, you're going to speak and move. You're going to look like a live human being in the square, which, again, I am always flabbergasted by how much people don't move and how much they aren't like themselves. And part of that is because everybody's sitting way back in their chairs and they're just there like lumps. You notice how far back I just moved? because I'm sitting up more on the edge of my chair so that there is no way for me not to move and be energetic in front of you. And again, it's difficult to do for these long things. And I would say you don't have to do it once the presenter goes and launches into their spiel for the day. But before that, be energetic, be right in there. Smiling, moving, and speaking first. The third thing that will probably surprise you is I encourage you to adjust your camera view or how you're sitting and those sorts of things near the top of the meeting. Why is that? Well, I'm encouraging you to be an example for others on how you should be appearing in the screen. So for instance, if you start a little bit further up, like a lot of people do when they have the meetings, or they're leaning on the desk like this and they're really up close. I don't suggest this as a body language person, because now my arms are on the table, so I'm not going to be gesturing. And my face is in everybody else's face. And who wants to see all the wrinkles? Right? Who wants to see the bags under my eyes? Nobody. So if you start like this, or if you notice everybody else is like this, you take the high road and scoot back and sit up, or adjust your camera a little bit, right? If you notice it's a little bit too high or something, you do all of that prep stuff, which encourages other people to take notice and go, oh yeah, you know what? I really should switch that around. Okay. Without having to say to them, yeah, if you're the leader, I think it's okay to say to them, hey, let's everybody scoot back just a little bit so we can see more of you in the screen. I don't want everybody staring at me like this. But if you don't do that, if you just want to sit back a little bit or adjust, again, you look present, you look like you care about how you're coming across during this meeting, because you're adjusting. And it's something that you can't do until the camera comes on. It's really difficult to adjust. Yes, you can set up a fake room for a moment and adjust your camera and everything. But if at the top of the meeting, once you've said hello to people, then you notice, oh, and then you do a little adjusting, or you could switch it around. You could adjust first and then smile and say hello. These don't have to go in this order necessarily. But these are the top 3 things that I want you to try the next time you are in a virtual meeting, and just let me know how it goes. These are the types of things that I believe transform and help you be true to you. And you notice this way, I have my little true to you reminder, because this is the new program that will be starting. And I want to tell you about a free training on November 9th, noon to 1 Central Time. So you're going to eat lunch with me, and we are going to talk about how to be true to you, how to observe yourself, how to start observing others, the types of things that are in the full True to You program that will launch in January. This is basically like the first module in that course that I will be giving away for free, so that all of you can see what this is and what it is about. So I want to put here in the comments, this is the link. This is a bit.ly link that I created. This is a link to where you register for that free training, the True to You. And I will try to remember to go ahead and make sure that this is showing up in the YouTube replay of this as well, or when I replay it in LinkedIn, that I put the link in there. So the True to You, that's a free training, again, on November 9th. You have a couple of weeks to get ready for it, but and help to promote it. Tell your friends about it if they have been curious about becoming more authentic as a communicator. That is what this course is about. It's becoming authentic and like you in every situation, whether you're virtual, whether you're in person, whether you're giving a presentation, whether you are in sales. You still need to communicate authentically no matter where you are. And this is the path to doing that in ways that you probably haven't done before, particularly for those who feel like they've read a lot of books and blogs and they have taken other courses and they just haven't really worked, or because it's prescriptive, it's do this, do this, do this. It's not really self-discovery. The True to You program is really about self-discovery on what makes your body language authentic, what makes your communication. How do you speak from a powerful place? That is something that isn't talked about enough. And as leaders, we really need to be more powerful as speakers, and this is the way we're going to do it. So join me on November 9th, and you'll get a really good taste of what that is all about. If you want to talk about it ahead of time, or if you want to bring some True to You training to your teams, there is a individual that is a group program that will be starting in January, but there's also under that True to You umbrella, there is video preparation if you're doing video taping, or if you're going to be bringing in a production house to do some video for your website or things like that. There's a video component. And then there's also a team component. We can come in and do the same work in your teams as well. Super excited about this program. I've been developing it all summer long, and I can't wait to start to share it. Okay, we are at our 15-minute mark, and that's usually when I try to wrap up when it's just me. Next week, however, I know I've been promoting it for a while now, Dr. J will be with us. I will finally have all of the conversation that we have edited and ready to go for our LinkedIn Live. So Dr. J will be here next week. Look for those promos. All right, I think that's it. Let's do a little review. When you are coming on screen for a virtual meeting, we still need to be doing better with this. So you're going to smile. You're going to speak and move first. That means moving in your box so they know you're live and you're alive and you're smiling. And then adjust something. Adjust how you're sitting. Adjust the camera, because that, again, puts your presence front and center, and how it's important to you to look your best in this medium. Okay, everybody, take those 3 tips. Please let me know how they work for you. Send me a message, allison@movingimageconsulting.com, or comment on the videos wherever it is that you see them. Thanks so much for joining me if you are live right now, or if you are watching it later. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week when we are talking about with Dr. J, our happiness doctor.